Hello, and welcome to Hey, I Loved That Movie, the podcast where we rewatch the films we loved when we were younger to see if they still hold up. I'm Dan.
I'm Michael.
I'm Helena. You said it different.
I didn't.
Didn't
I
you?
said it the same as normal. Maybe it just wasn't a slur this time. just word vomit. Anyway, this week we watched Kevin and Perry Go Large.
Speaking of actual vomit.
I used to watch this probably too many times. I've actually not seen it in about 8 years or so, but I watched this quite a bit, and I even dressed up as, me and a friend went to a costume party and dressed up as Kevin and Perry at one point.
I guess go and look in the Discord. It'll be there.
Yeah, we'll post it there. Why not? Had either of you guys seen this?
Yes, you've made us both watch it, I'm sure.
Yeah, I watched it a lot.
Yeah.
It was, oh my god, it was ickier than I remembered. But also I knew it was going to be gross, but oh god, in so many different ways.
Yeah.
There were parts that were actually quite hard to stomach.
Yeah, a couple of bits were grosser than I thought they were going to be, but I couldn't tell if I had a good time watching this or if I just knew the joke that was about to be said and laughed to myself because I remembered it.
So Kevin and
There were
Perry is
jokes?
like a sketch. It's a Harry Enfield sketch thing, isn't it?
Yeah, Harry Enfield's Kevin. And I mean, Kathy Burke as Perry is fucking hilarious, though.
Yes, yeah.
She is brilliant.
Yeah, I can't work out who this film is for.
It was for Dan 12 years ago.
Specifically for me,
That's why it
12
says-
years ago.
That's why it says on the front cover. It's not a book.
Yeah.
On the DVD case,
Yeah.
Kevin and Perry Go Large for Dan. XOXO K and P.
Specifically for Dan enjoying 10 years after this is released.
They had a great deal of foresight, actually, Kevin and Perry, in that respect.
Yeah. I mean, I remember the first time, I think I saw a little bit of this because my parents had rented it as a DVD from Blockbuster,
Mhm.
and I was probably awake longer than I was supposed to be. And I remember the scene of him lying in bed at the party and getting a huge boner and then immediately having to go to bed.
They were like, "Oh yeah, this will be. It's a sketch comedy. This will be safe for kids." Oh no,
Bitch.
good night, dear.
But that's what I mean. Who is this for? Because the sketch, the Harry and Friends sketch, Harry and Friends sketch show, it's for parents that are like, haha, that's what teenagers are like.
Yeah, because the only other Kevin and Perry thing I've seen, or just Kevin, I don't know if that's the whole. I don't actually know how many they did.
Yeah.
Those sketches, but
I
the
don't
only
think
one
there
was
was
when he turns 13. It's the night of his 13th birthday, and he goes to bed like a really lovely, polite 12-year-old, and comes downstairs like, "I hate you. I am not your slave."
But it's not for teenagers as a sketch.
No.
No,
it's
that's for parents, I guess, because it's relatable. Remember when you loved your child, even though they were an objective monster. For 5 to 10 years.
But this film is for teenagers. For young teenagers.
This
the
film
rest of the film
is the In-Betweeners movie before the In-Betweeners movie happened.
Yeah.
Ooh, I'd argue the In-Betweeners movie is better.
Yeah.
A lot better.
Yeah.
I
mean, I haven't seen that one in an almost equally long time, but I would put money on it being less objectively
Painful?
offensive.
Yeah. Yes.
But also painful. Yeah, this one, I don't know. This one's,
It's just...
it's so they are insufferable, but it's why was that funny when we were, because obviously we did enjoy this. Well,
sure
Dan enjoyed this.
I did.
I remember watching it with my dad. So, and he thought it was quite funny, and I was, because he was like, "Oh yeah, that's what teenagers are like," and I'm like, "No, it's not, Dad. You don't understand." So you know.
But it's that's what teenagers are like. But then it's Teenage Fantasy, the film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm a big fan of every review being like, the film is meh, the music is good. Every single
the
review.
actual tunes in this film.
Yeah, every single review is like, the music's fucking incredible. The film itself is meta bad. Like, you've made a shit film when everyone's going, the music's great. When it was just like rave tracks from start to end.
Yeah, just constant. Because the basic plot is Kevin and Perry are both like late
Shitty teenagers.
Yeah,
15-year-olds, yeah.
They are wannabe top DJs.
Yeah, and he says DJ for some reason,
DJ,
which is
yes.
that just a Harry Enfield thing? It was mispronouncing things funny. I think it was.
Probably.
I think it was meant to be like Kevin
They're
is
trying to
so up
sound
his
grown
own
up.
ass.
Yeah, they're trying to be
he's-
grown ups, and grown ups speak funny.
Yeah, he's trying to act professional when he's like a 40-year-old man playing a 18.
It's
15.
so
He's 15. I just
weird.
want to clarify that they're 15 in this, and
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so weird to be like, this man's 40. Every now and then I got hit with the reality of this man is 40. Because it not just this man is 40, this man is 40 and wrote this film.
And I mean,
Yeah.
considering last week we watched American Pie, where it's also 40-year-olds playing teenagers.
No,
But like
they were like, we joke that they were 40. They were like early 20s.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they weren't that old. Not
That
Harry
was-
and
They had hair.
That was
Yeah.
that was a like child labor law kind of deal.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
it's
Teens
funny
are
that it's an
expensive.
old man playing a teenager.
Yeah, and it's kind of weird sometimes that it's an old man playing a teenager.
Yeah.
'Cause,
But I also
yeah,
wouldn't want a teenager to have to act any of these scenes.
No, definitely not.
No,
Apart from,
Fucking-
can I have a jam sandwich, please, Mr.
Yeah,
Pease?
sure, so-
Excuse
Okay.
me, Mr. Miss Person, you can have jam sandwich, please.
she is the
It's
best
like-
part of this
so,
entire
yeah.
film.
I think all the bits that I remembered and found funny are all just the Perry lines.
Yeah, the best part of this film. The
Yeah.
best part of like his entire sketch history.
Yeah.
Harry's entire sketch history as well. She's great in everything.
Exactly. Just the way, like, just following him around in every, like, I like some of the dumb little jokes, like him wearing her t-shirt that says individual and her says individual too.
Yeah. But yeah, they're shitty teenagers who are like dreams of being DJs in.
Well, they want to go. They want to be DJs anyway. Like that seems to be their hobby, and it mostly because it just pisses off their parents. And I think teenage boys having a loud hobby is kind of, classic stereotype. It's
Yeah.
it's either like
Yeah.
you're either into DJing or drumming or electric guitar, or like weightlifting where you throw the weights down on the ground loudly and go
Or drop them
To-
on your feet.
To like be fair, DJing is really fucking difficult. As someone that's like tried it, it's really difficult to do it well. So,
yeah, but like they're sort of DJing, but they are like making their own mixes and actually
Yeah.
producing songs. It's not like they're just, my sort of, I think what I thought a DJ was at that age was like,
you press play.
you
Yeah.
press next.
Yeah.
Yeah,
on the CD
that's
player.
what I thought it was complicated. Like I thought that for a while, and then it was like someone that was like because I now know a few DJs, which is fucking weird to say. They were like, "Oh yeah, show you how to do it." And I was like, I don't know. I don't understand any of this. I don't get it. Like it's fine.
Yeah,
And
the
then I
other
can't-
film I've got reference to like what a DJing. God, it's happening.
DJing,
DJ.
Is bloody Pitch Perfect, which is also
Yeah,
I
of
think
course.
wholly inaccurate.
Not
Like the
correct.
software that they show you in that film is just
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Non-existent.
Yeah.
It's weird. So yeah, to be fair to them, it's quite difficult,
Yeah.
and they're DJing with like actual vinyl as well, and that's fucking
Yeah.
beyond.
Well, when's this
That's-
set? Because it comes out in 2000. Like,
Yeah,
That
I'm
was
guessing it's
still-
set in 2000? Yeah.
That was like early electronic DJ sets, so
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
they were still using vinyl. They still
Hmm.
had vinyl.
well, it's also their teenage boys. Would they have had the latest like CD kind of
Yeah, no, not at all.
stuff?
Yeah, they've probably
It's
got like the old equipment, yeah.
You say that the old equipment's more expensive.
Yeah.
Like-
But
Is
you're more likely to find it secondhand, I guess, than like
That's true.
brand
But
new.
And at that point, vinyl.
Not that they
wasn't,
seem to be hard off. Like his parents spoil him.
His parents are well.
Yeah, they're pretty well off. Like, essentially, they then decide that they want to go to Ibiza because they're like, well, we'll get shagged there because all the girls want to shag and we can...
Yeah, basically they
play
go
our
to a
music.
party and Kevin tells everyone that he slept with
That
a girl because, and you know,
Party.
technically, he's
That
next to her.
party
That
is
is such
weird.
a
Grim.
odd scene because it's all just the middle of the day as well. And I imagine it's meant to be at night.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
indoor lights
it
were too
was-
bright,
but
so it's
also,
like
it's a 40-year-old man in bed with like a
yeah, the girl looked young.
20-year-old woman.
Yeah, and he gets a
Yeah.
massive boner.
He
and
wrote
it's-
that scene, right?
Yeah, that is a bit weird. And he like
Like-
puts his tongue in her mouth and stuff. as well.
Yeah. He wrote
Yeah.
that.
I did read that was the. It's in the some trivia I read that that's the first time he'd technically kissed anyone that wasn't his wife since he got married.
He wrote that.
But yeah, like that was still a decision he made.
It was, made me uncomfortable when I that sort of realization halfway through that scene of like, this is now weird.
But those girls are unobtainable, and also she finds out. Is her name Stacy? I don't know.
Cheryl.
I know they're far too cool for him.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
she's
she's
just
like,
"I'd
grossed
never
out.
shag
That,
you."
yeah.
Yeah.
She's obviously pissed off that he's told everyone. Because first it's just Perry's like, "Oh, did you shag her?" And he's like, "Yeah, of course I did."
But then someone overhears it, like
Yeah.
who's also at the party, and starts
Yeah.
spreading it to everyone. Yeah.
And so obviously she's mad, and then they're like, "Yeah, we've got to go to Ibiza." All the girls
Yeah.
there want a DTF, as the kids say.
Yeah. So they're told to get a job,
think
and they
kids
start
say
off
that
like
anymore.
car washing, and they get paid in eggs. Or I do like
that
the,
I did
the-
find quite funny because they're still really polite about it. They just say
Yeah.
thank
Yeah,
you and
it was
walk
really
off,
funny.
which was like really
Yeah.
cute for a 15-year-old boy.
The other great line is when they try and get a job in HMV, and the guy working there is like, "Where'd you find the punk?" And Perry just goes, "In my sheets." Like
Spunk.
spunk.
Yeah, shockingly they don't get a job at HMV. But I love the
No.
idea that like HMV only hires cool people.
I know, right? I mean, now it's rare that they can afford to hire anyone. So
Yeah, I was gonna say there was a whole gaggle of them there.
yeah.
It's cool people if you're a 15-year-old that likes music. HMV is the coolest.
I guess
place
the
on the
coolest thing is like they get a staff discount on the latest CDs.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
they did used to sell music as well. I don't know if you've been in one recently, but it's mainly just stuff.
planet. They still sell music.
They've got music, but then they've also got so much like pop figures and shit like that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because people
Yeah,
don't buy
Yeah.
Yeah,
CDs
I mean,
anymore.
No, I mean, vinyl's on the up again.
Yeah,
like-
it is.
this
Oh,
isn't.
fuck,
Hey,
I
I
can
loved
talk
that
about
department
vinyl.
store, guys.
Nah. Hey,
No.
I love that vinyl. Let me talk.
No, don't
You
let me
have
talk about
pinballs.
vinyl. Like, I'll go off on a spiral about how I don't understand how they work again.
Yeah.
No, we don't want to know.
No.
we don't.
So anyway-
we're at peace
Said
with not knowing
no
how
one's-
vinyl works.
Yeah.
It's you. By the way, if you send in how, it's useless to explain it. I
Yeah.
work with people that make and press vinyl. I don't know how it works.
No,
I've seen
The-
it every step of the way. I don't get it.
the bump
My
makes
husband's
sound,
explained it to
okay.
me.
Bump makes sound of several things at once. No,
Yeah.
make no sense.
Yeah. It doesn't go in any of our heads somehow.
What
Collectively,
does go
it doesn't
into our
in.
heads is
Film.
Kevin and Perry taking Kevin's dad's credit card to the bank, and then the bank gets robbed, and Kevin sees a woman's tits and gets a boner and sets off the alarm, which means
Yeah,
the
he
guy
presses
gets
the-
arrested
Yeah, he presses the panic alarm
with his
with his
dick.
dick.
And then
And like,
they get reward
what I did
money.
like about that, what I did like about that scene was the utter like dismay and like, oh well, I get like I'm not going to shoot him then kind of attitude of the
Yeah.
robber.
He gave in really quickly. God, blast.
Because they get reward money, the parents have booked the trip to Ibiza, but they're like, oh no, we're doing it as a treat for you. You can use your reward money to, buy yourself some nice things while you're out there. I mean, that
And,
much cash, it's just going to be drugs, right?
Kevin and Perry go large. It could have been a very different film.
Eyeball Paul just, like, completely
I-
fucks
we all
on meth
know-
or something.
Yeah, to be
I
fair,
think
in
we'll-
this film, they really like it. There's it is quite, I guess, 15 in the way that it's like they're not interested in getting drunk. They're not interested in trying out drugs. Like they're purely fixated on getting some V.
Yeah.
Yeah, they want to get laid and they want to play their music. So, yeah, they have a nice holiday to Ibiza with Kevin's parents.
Yeah,
Yes,
which is
and
like,
Perry
duh,
comes along
you're
too.
15, but they're
Yeah.
well, and that's also sweet. It shows that their parents are just really nice. It's like, of course, I'm going to take his best friend on holiday.
Yeah, Perry's got to go. Otherwise, it's just Kevin, and the movie's a lot more boring.
To be fair, I also think Perry's parents might be like, sure, take him, please.
Yeah.
please take Perry.
Well,
Please
ultimately,
take
they
him.
just want their son to be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like they're not. I think that's one thing that I did find quite sweet is they're not bad parents.
No, the
at
parents
all.
are great. And
Apart
that's the
from
point.
maybe some boundary crossing at some points, but like they are really nice. And
Yeah.
I think that that's something that maybe I appreciated watching this as an adult was actually like the parents in this are amazing.
Yeah, they're actually good parents. Like when we get to the scene further down the movie where it's like Kevin's genuinely upset about things, they're like, "Right, do you want to come in for a cup of tea? Right, you'll be all right."
I mean, isn't that the point, though? Is that
Yeah.
they are good
Yeah.
parents and he's a shit? That because
Yeah,
teenagers are shit.
he is
Yeah.
a
Again,
shit.
the entire point of the reason Kevin exists is
Yeah,
to be like, haha, aren't teenagers stupid? Which
Yeah.
doesn't wear thin after an hour and a half of watching a film.
Well, it's
Um,
aren't teenagers ungrateful, gullible idiots?
Yeah. Yeah, which
But
is
you
fine
know,
for like
have you met a
3-minute
teenager
sketch.
who's not at least one of those things?
yeah.
I don't know. I don't think this film gives teenagers enough credit.
They pretty much immediately. Oh yeah. So at the airport, they meet Eyeball Paul, who is
Who is
a
a
top DJ,
Famous DJ.
played by
which-
Reese Ifans.
He's called Eyeball Paul because he
Does shots of vodka in his eye.
Yeah.
Yeah. which
Because
if
it
this
gets
wasn't
into
a
the bloodstream
15,
quick.
he'd definitely do so much coke.
Yeah. Whilst the
Like,
coke
it's-
is all off screen, it does feel quite abundant.
Yeah,
in
this
this
film
guy's
is
persona.
strangely sanitized for being a film about DJs in Ibiza.
Yeah.
And it's like we have to make him drink, but it has to be in like a fucking weird way, just to make up for the.
Well, I
coke
guess
energy.
that's something that a teenager might do, but is ultimately fairly sterile and really painful, so they probably won't do it twice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I mean,
So,
every
like-
time he does it, he swears as well.
Also, like
Yeah.
Eyeball Paul has coke energy, and they need
Yeah.
to make up for that. They need to be like, why is he like this? Because he does shots of vodka through his eye.
Yeah, he's just mental, innit?
He's
And
mental, but
I like
not
how
because
like,
of coke.
every time they meet him as well, he's just such a twat. And they're just
Yeah.
like, oh, he's such a nice bloke, isn't he? I think he really likes us.
Yeah, that idol worship, absolutely.
I mean, that's teenagers.
Yeah.
But they're just so grateful to bask in his presence that they literally wait on him on their holiday.
Yeah, because he's like, oh, you can bring your mix and I'll listen to it. And the whole time he's just making them do chores and stuff.
Which is really funny because why? I guess because he's just a little sadistic, like, knob.
Yeah, yeah,
But it's like, you get a maid.
yeah.
They'd probably do a better job than two clueless teenage boys.
While they're on holiday as well, they also meet the girls of their dreams.
Yeah,
Gemma and Candice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like this, not because they're not gross, don't get me wrong, like, they are gross. But I like this because it was, like, the girls are equally clueless.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. They were just as kind of awful.
But, like,
and
what I
trying
also
to
enjoyed
give
was how the
hints.
boys don't, they're useless, but the boys are also useless. So, like, the lack of communication is just amazing.
Yeah,
And they're both trying really hard.
They're trying
To-
really hard. Everyone's trying so hard to be cool that they're not really making any sense.
Yep.
Like, there's a really long, drawn-out bit where they're on the phone. Like, she's on the... Candice is on the phone, like, sorting out where they're going to go and talking about which clubs they're going to go to and, like, name-dropping loads of stuff. And
Yeah.
then her phone rings.
yeah.
But, like,
And
the
they
boys just
quickly run out.
do... The boys just do not notice.
No, they're like, oh yeah, we'll go to Amnesia tonight.
But
Yeah.
yeah, fair play. The boys do their time with this wanker, Eyeball Paul.
Yeah, with Eyeball Paul.
Yeah.
And the whole time they're on holiday as well, Perry is like recording with his camcorder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is very 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'm trying to remember. The
Yeah,
film
so-
is so
so
little. Happy.
The first time they go to Amnesia is when they then meet Eyeball Paul properly, and he
Yeah.
gets them to take all their shit up and like up to the stage, and then he's like, right, I'll listen to your mix tomorrow. And then the girls are like, oh, they can get in because they know Eyeball Paul, so if we get with them, we'll get in. Like,
Yeah. Well, he does.
because they get
he
turned
does-
away for being monsters.
Yeah, and that was pretty brutal.
Hmm.
Yeah.
But also that used to be a thing. I don't know
Yeah.
if it's still a thing. I don't go
Don't know.
clubbing.
No. That, I mean, personally,
And also,
that club
I'm
looks
drop
like
dead
hell to
gorgeous,
me.
so like I just have pretty privilege, and I don't really see that kind of thing.
And I'm a top DJ, so I just go up and play the podcast.
Stand there
to be fair,
for
when
an hour.
when I lived in Russia, they still had that kind of policy of like men had to pay to get in and women didn't.
I think places still do here.
Um,
If like not officially, but I think they still kind of do.
There's definitely like some people can queue jump for different things, but it's yeah. I don't know. I again, because I get let in everywhere I go, I don't know.
Sure, okay, we get
Like
it.
I've never
Yeah, we
queued
get
for
it.
anything.
We get it.
Hmm.
We get it. Anyway, Liverpool does give them the song quiz on their way up the stairs.
Yeah, the weirdest. Like,
Nah, DJs need to know about music. They
Yeah.
just do. That's a fair quiz. The only time in the film I'm like, that's a fair thing to do.
yeah, not when he's calling them ginger pubes and sad act, but
No.
actually giving them a quiz.
But when he's like, okay, you want to be DJs? Here's 8 weird, obscure genres of music. Do you know them? Do you play them?
Well,
That's
it
fair.
was like, so what kind of music do you play? And like, is it this? Is it this? And then like getting
Yeah.
more and more specific
Yeah,
until we get
It's
to
just-
what was it, Bolero House?
Yeah, just
Yeah,
like,
or
again,
and they
just
say
trying
the
to be
wrong
like,
one.
how well of music do you know? I don't
And
think
that
any
that
of
is
those exist.
so. Oh my! Like, do you? So you like rock music? Name like 20 rock bands and their debut albums, or you're not a real rock fan, kind of thing.
I think it's more of you say you're DJs. Do you actually know about music? I don't think he's trying to. At that point, I don't think he's trying to be like, "Ha, you're not cool because you don't listen."
I don't know.
It's
They were like
literally
waiting for them to trip up, and as soon as they did, they were like, ah.
I don't think
But I
any
think they
of
were
it's
a little
real
bit-
music.
Yeah.
I don't think any of it's real genre. I think he's just trying to prove a point that, like, yeah, no, they aren't. They don't actually know. These teenagers do not know what they're talking about. Surprisingly,
Yeah, so
He's
it's
just
like, oh, I
doing
can
it as
take
an
advantage of this, get them to do
Yeah.
all
Yeah.
my housework.
yeah,
Um,
that's pretty much it.
Yeah. So they leave, and then they go back to the hotel, and they walk in on Kevin's parents, like, banging, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, that was so mortifying.
Yeah. Just like the dad using the mum's head to cover his junk. And it's like, oh.
I was just like, can she feel his willy behind her head, like poking her?
And then, yeah, Kevin's just mortified, and Perry's just like, oh, all right.
Cheeky. Doesn't he call Mrs. Perry's Kevin's mum cheeky?
Yeah.
You cheeky
Yeah.
girl.
Oh, you cheeky. And then they're in bed, and like, we'll be all right, won't we, Kev? Won't we, Kev? Won't we? And Kevin's just like fucking like gone because he
Yeah,
saw
he's
his
just in
parents
his-
having
yeah.
sex. He's like, no, they only
There
had
was a
sex
little-
once, and that was to conceive me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The little flashback of his idea of what his parents
Yeah.
having sex was like was brilliant.
Well, if we don't bang, we won't be able to make the greatest DJ of all time.
And then they
Oh,
both
man.
puke at the end.
Yeah. So yeah, the next day they go to Eyeball Paul's place, and he's like, "Oh, can you paint the bathroom? Oh, and be careful because I've just took a banging shit in the bog and it won't flush."
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
there we've not got plenty. You might have to break it up with your hands,
Yeah.
yeah.
but they do it.
Yeah, they paint it for him, and he's like, and then when they're leaving, they're, oh, it's a shame his tape machine was broken, but he said he'll listen if we come back tomorrow.
That bit was so it's so
So
tragic, but it
naive.
is so funny.
Yeah. So then they decide they'll go to the beach and go in the sea with their headphones on, and they're just like yelling at each other, and everyone on the beach can hear them.
This one was a bit cutting for me, not because I've done anything that gross, just FYI, I have not shat in the sea.
No, but you've got to have a piss in the sea. It's the law.
I've definitely weed in the sea, yeah. But that like being a teenager having an obnoxiously loud conversation because you've got your headphones in or you're just loud. Like I remember once getting like told off by this lady because we've been me and my friends were in London, I think, and we were travelling back, and like looking back, I was being obnoxiously loud.
Mhm.
I don't know why, like we weren't drinking or anything, but it was like I don't know, it was just hyped up on excitement. Who knows? Back when I had Vitality.
Energy.
Yeah.
But this lady like came and told me off for being like disruptive on the train, and like I felt really, I did feel really bad. Like I felt at the time I felt furious, but now when I look back, I'm like, yeah, that must have been so irritating.
Yeah. Why is it that it's always that? I mean, it's when you're on a train and you literally can't go anywhere that you seem to have the most infuriating people stuck on the train with you.
The
Like the amount of
absolute.
people that can't afford earphones, just fucking stop playing your music out loud.
To be fair, I'll take shitty tinny music these days, absolutely, over someone else scrolling through TikTok with the sound on.
Ooh, that sounds
Oh
bad.
yeah,
Yeah.
That is
How-
so infuriating.
the confidence to
And
do
oh,
that.
yeah, well, yeah, I mean, fair play to them.
Like,
but yeah, no.
anything that's
I
like
wanted
here's
to
a randomized
garrot a
thing.
teenager, and they've not even got the fucking wired headphones to garrot them with. They've not
Yeah.
got any headphones. That's
No.
the problem.
The most
Yeah.
thing you can do is you can take the earpods out and shove it down the throat.
Well, if they had earpods in, that would be fine.
Yeah, because you wouldn't be able to hear their fucking TikTok playing.
But yeah, that like 5 to 10 seconds of random sound for an hour
Yeah.
on the bus just makes
I-
me want to hurt anyone,
I'm
everyone.
terrified whenever I open my phone in public that I'm going to accidentally open TikTok.
Oh, okay.
Because that app is just like, and here you go.
Yeah.
It doesn't. There isn't
Right.
an open page.
I'm gonna do a
It's
test.
just like-
I'm gonna see. I'm not obviously. I've got the sound turned off. I'm not. I'm not that confident.
Yeah.
What is the first thing that comes up on my TikTok?
It's just like instant stuff. I don't want other people to know what like
Mine is so
the
lame.
algorithm.
Do you want to know what the first thing that
Yes.
came up for me was?
Yes.
It's this man that wraps kitchens in vinyl to like like zhuzh up your kitchen a bit.
Okay.
I thought you meant like singing for a second. Ow.
He wraps kitchen.
It just bigs up your kitchen. When your kitchen self-confidence is low,
Yeah.
you get a drillogram from this guy. He bigs up your kitchen.
I mean, speaking of TikTok as well, the next scene, which was the most fucking disgusting scene in the whole movie, somehow that's also a TikTok trend of let's watch people popping their spots, and it's like, that is just fucking gross.
It's
Why
so...
do people do that?
That's like a whole thing on the internet in general.
Yeah. I mean, it was awful in this film. Like,
Yeah, honestly, like that was kind of what
disgusting.
I was expecting to come up on my phone.
Yeah.
Like I get that. I get like ingrown hairs and stuff like that sent to my feed, and then it's like, how about this or kinetic sand? How about kinetic sand while you watch another video?
People find it relaxing.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
fair play to them. Like I've seen some of them, and I'm like, I get it, and like if that helps you not pick your own spots, then that's good too. But this was revolting. This was because it's so fake as well, but it's not quite fake enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not good.
I remember that's the scene I actually remember watching with my dad, and then like they look really good afterwards.
Yeah, because they've had all the bad makeup on that taken off.
yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah. Obviously,
Yeah.
these were not unattractive women in the first place, but
Yeah.
the
But it's
yeah,
like,
the glow up from and like the power of makeup, I think, was
Yeah.
probably actually not a healthy thing to have taught me at a really young
Oh,
age.
I
this
also
film
like that
isn't
Kevin and
for
Perry are
girls.
waiting outside the whole
Oh,
time.
yeah.
And they're like,
For
how
4
long's it been?
hours.
Only 4 hours. Oh, it's not too long. It's all right.
Again, another bit where I'm like, I don't understand who this film is for. Because that is definitely a joke for the parents,
Yeah.
not for
Yeah.
the teenagers.
Oh, I mean, it then goes on to the next disgusting scene, though.
Oh, when they're in the
Because-
car with Eyeball Paul.
No, the
Oh.
next scene is they all get in the club.
Oh, they get in the
And
club, yeah.
Some
Right.
guys take random pills and end up throwing up all over them.
Yep,
Yeah.
that's just what happens.
I mean, it was great having, like, the sort of the sad music to it as they're walking out. And there's just that guy who's, like, in a suitcase, like, buy half man part luggage.
Yeah, that I did
Yeah.
feel bad for them in that
Yeah.
scene because it was like they got so close. Like the girls were absolutely, enthralled that they got into the club. But then obviously
Yeah.
it's like, well, they don't want to go home with two boys that have just been puked all over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they
And the boys-
stay and Kevin and Perry
Yeah.
have to go home.
And yeah, obviously like that really sucks for them.
Yeah.
But oh, good, that was a lot of fake puke as well. It really felt
Yeah.
like that naughty's like kids TV slime,
Yeah,
like gunge.
they should go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Those guys, they should
Yeah.
probably go to a doctor.
They've taken something and thrown up immediately. That is not healthy.
Yeah, not a great sign.
Yeah.
I mean, unless they took an emetic,
Why would
which
you
they
do
very
that
well
at the
might have
club?
done.
Why would you?
Well, they say, like, what would we take it? And it's like, what are they? It's like, I don't know.
Oh, that's true.
And I guess
fair.
that is a good because that's the only drug taking we see in the film. That's
Yeah.
a good one to send. That's a good message for kids. Is like
Yeah.
if you take random drugs, you will vomit off a balcony.
All over someone else.
And like, I guess they're lucky that they vomited on two like sad 15-year-old boys and not like some absolute meatheads that were going to punch the lights out.
Yeah.
But also,
Instead, they're
please
fine.
don't even think about how much coke eyeball pool is up.
No.
Please.
But yeah, so then they go home, and once again, they can hear Kevin's parents shagging, so Perry goes out and films it.
Yeah, because obviously, you know, Kevin's revolted, but Perry is like
Proper into it.
yeah, he's so into it. It's people having sex. He's
Yeah.
into it. Like the bar is low.
Yeah, so he films it, and then the next day, they're cleaning the kitchen for Eyeball Paul, and he's found the video camera, and so he's like showing it to them.
Well, he's found the tape, and he was actually quite like the song.
Yeah,
Yeah, he thought the sound. He seems to like begrudgingly like the song, which I thought was quite cool.
yeah.
We should
Yeah.
bring up
Yeah,
at this point
exactly.
his moral compass, his Jiminy Cricket, which is what's his name? Tom, Dave? Is it
Yeah,
all-
I think maybe Tom, yeah.
Tom the driver, who
That's
plays an
his,
important role
ethical
later.
bug.
Yeah, but yeah, so he plays them the tape of his parents having sex.
Yeah. And
And
Kevin
obviously
just
Carrie-
absolutely loses it.
Yeah, he's so cross.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, honestly, fair, but like
Yeah.
for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
I would just be so I'd be so upset. It was like, why the fuck would you record my parents having sex? That's really like
Weird.
weird and very inappropriate, and like also very illegal to film someone like that, and like that's a crime. And
Oh yeah, that's
of it's
one of
quite-
the crimes of this
Yeah.
film.
Yeah. So they stop being friends.
yeah, they do the classic like long-term best friend thing of falling out and
Yeah.
hating each other.
Yeah, you're not my mate and you're not my fellow DJ. Goodbye forever. And I'm like, yeah, but Perry's got to go on the flight home with them.
Right. So that I just wanted to talk about. So Kevin goes back to his parents, and his parents are like, "Oh, let's go out for a nice meal." Blah blah blah. Whilst he's dealing with Perry, and
Yeah.
Perry finds a kid and helps build a sandcastle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When Kevin's parents are like, "Let's go out for a nice meal." Oh, Perry, you've had an argument with Perry. Oh, how awful. At no point are they like, Perry, a 15-year-old child, is just in Ibiza on his own. Maybe we should find Perry, who is probably also just as upset as Kevin is.
yeah. I guess they know that he's got lots of cash. He's not going to go hungry, and he is like,
Hungry isn't the problem.
No.
Also, having lots of cash in Ibiza is also not good.
This film
I
takes a
guess-
wild turn where Perry gets kidnapped.
An incredibly influenceable.
I don't know. I feel like there's a certain
my-
amount of freedom you can give kids at that age to not die.
No, my reaction is like a pair. As if they're together, it's better. But like alone, probably very emotionally distraught, and with lots of money in Ibiza randomly. I
Yeah.
definitely my first reaction would be like, "Oh, we've got to find Perry."
Yeah, but also how do you find them? Because they've not got phones.
Start fucking looking.
Yeah. You like go to the places where they've been before. I mean, I
Yeah, you
also
just-
like the fact that Perry is so upset that he walks past several topless women and doesn't even notice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like just walking along the beach.
Saying,
I mean,
they
Good
immediately stop
sandcastle.
caring. Oh yeah, they immediately stop caring about Perry.
Yeah. Yeah, Perry's dead, it's fine.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think they
I-
also know that this will blow over before like any
Hmm?
significant amount of time will pass.
Yeah, they also have no idea that their kids are like meeting with a guy known as Eyeball Paul.
No.
Yeah, I mean there is that. I think if the parents were aware, they probably wouldn't have let the eyeball Paul take advantage of them like this.
Yeah, but yeah. So Perry makes a great sandcastle.
A great sandcastle, yeah. Meanwhile, Kevin sees the two girls with some other guys as well.
So Perry made a sandcastle, and the
Yeah.
girls come by, and they're like, "Hey," with two guys,
Yes.
and then kind of homophobia happens.
Yeah.
Kind of homophobia happens.
It's that gay is gross, hat, but also funny. And isn't it funny that, like, yeah.
And it's odd that they also try and correct it in the film.
Yeah, this bit they try and correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like the ignorance, like when they're like, okay, Perry's an idiot, and the girls are like, no, they prefer that, and he's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's like,
no, they're gay lovers, which is still a fine thing to say.
A very weird way to put it.
Yeah, I guess not fine. Very weird. If you ever introduced anyone as, hi, these are my friends, Mark and Steve, they're gay lovers. Yeah, that would be bad.
That'd be fucking hilarious.
I mean, for this film coming out in the year 2000 as well, that's like...
Ugh. Yeah, it's of its time. It's almost like trying to be 2000, literally 2000 woke.
Yeah.
Which is not particularly woke.
No.
What did Perry call them?
Bum boys.
That was it.
And like, I guess it's not the worst, but it's also bad. It's still bad.
It could have been a worse slur.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then Perry does immediately just be like, "Oh, okay, that's not what we call them." There.
I feel like Perry doesn't fully understand.
No, Perry is not all there.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where it's like his ignorance isn't okay, but it's also like this is a global ignorance.
It's not malice.
Yeah.
He's not doing it deliberately. Again, another reason why, as adults, I would have been immediately looking for Perry, because...
Well, I guess that's the other thing, is like, yeah, the idea of him being left to his own devices. To be fair, all he does is go and make a sandcastle.
Yeah.
And
then goes and gets all the stuff back from Eyeball Paul.
Yeah, because Eyeball Paul is like, I liked your music. I got it on a white label.
Yeah, he's put it on vinyl for him.
Physically impossible to do in that amount of time. Again, you have your pinballs. I'm going to be annoyed about this. He wouldn't have been able to get it from tape without a master recording onto vinyl in 4 hours. He wouldn't have been able to.
Not with that attitude.
No, physically. I don't think it's possible to make the stuff in that short amount of time. And it would sound like shit because there's no master recording. You're going from a tape.
I agree that it's, but I mean the whole idea of this is ridiculous. It's like this, they bump into the DJ at like a few days ago at the airport.
Yeah,
and now he's playing their record. Is this like fantasy of the whole thing, isn't it?
There's just a bit in my brain that when he was like, "Oh, I've made it into a white label," like, no, you haven't.
But I guess that at the time would have been like the dream. That would be that was almost insignificant to us now, because I was like, that just means it's white because they've not designed the cover yet.
Yeah, it just means like it's a promo thing.
Yeah,
and it's like that's obviously a huge deal. But then, as a kid, like having I think a lot of people our age, or not our age, a lot of kids these days would be like, I don't understand the significance of that.
Yeah, and also like white labels are the things that like DJs use. They don't have like the official version; they have like the white label version of everything.
So it's just like official, proper DJ stuff.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, no, because they hid their own mix, they have to get it done, and because it's not an official release, they have to have it. They do it as like a white. It's a thing, but no, it would be impossible to actually get it made and pressed in that short amount of time. Just to get the material. unless he has, Eyeball Paul has his own vinyl press.
Well,
just
it's
at
like
the ready.
burning a CD, isn't it?
No. Well, to be fair, it does involve more heat than burning a CD.
Don't ask me how CDs work.
It's just data, it's fine.
Yeah, no, that's just data burnt onto a surface.
Yeah, it's fine. Yeah. That makes sense. Vinyl, nah.
But how does data make sounds?
It just does.
Shush. But that's more black box issue, where you're just like, I don't know the middle bit, but I know that bit and that bit.
Yeah.
Vinyl should be... Vinyl's a physical thing.
Yeah. Physical things should be quiet or alive.
Yeah.
Or make one sound like a musical instrument.
Yeah. Or like you should be able to see how the sound happens.
Yeah.
You should be able to see it. You can't see it.
Not just, oh, this needle went into this small bump, so it's going to make the noise of 4 different instruments and someone singing at the same time. Yeah, sure. Anyway.
And that exact same format can do OK Computer and Taylor Swift.
Yeah,
Yep.
fucking everything. and
I like that you forgot all music at that point,
Yeah.
but yeah.
It's because the only
It's
song
like,
that's
and other
important is
things.
All I Want to Do Is Do It by Kevin and Perry, the top DJs.
Etc. Etc.
Yeah, Perry goes back and apologizes to Kevin. And Kevin's just like wearing a tie. Just going out for a meal with my mum and dad. But I also like Perry's like story spin to try and talk to Kevin. It's like, oh, I'm really sorry, Kev. I just happened to be filming this interesting lizard on the wall. Oh, I didn't realise.
Yeah.
So they make up again.
And then Perry spills the beans about he's been back to Eyeball Paul. They're invited to the DJ tonight, and he's also bumped into the girls. They were with gay lovers, not the men they were with were not banging them.
Yeah.
Which is what they sort of figured had happened. So that's why they were all like, well, these girls can't possibly sleep with two different men on.
Yeah, that'd be in Ibiza.
Crazy.
Never.
Yeah. Weirder things have happened, like 15-year-olds having their song played.
Getting into a club in Ibiza where there is no drugs.
Hmm.
The only drugs are bad drugs, and the only alcohol is a guy that drinks it through his eye.
Yeah.
That's the only drugs and alcohol in this film.
Well, I mean, this is the bit where they're then, driving to the club and Eyeball Paul's being a bit handsy with the girl, so the driver slams on the brakes.
Okay, you say a bit handsy. To make a
Yeah.
point, he goes to finger both of these girls at the same
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Like,
The
it's
two-
sexual assault. Like, he hasn't, like, come onto them in any way. He's just going to, like, dive in.
The two 15-year-olds.
Yes. It's bad. It's like, well, is that like a dig at the music industry?
Probably.
And it's, well, yeah, which...
It's not
but
wrong.
Yeah, well, yeah,
It's
that's what... Yeah, part of me was like, well, yeah, actually, that doesn't seem particularly far-fetched out of all of everything that's happened.
That's probably the most realistic.
But it is grim.
Yeah.
But thankfully, Tom puts on the brakes and these girls get pushed into the welcome arm laps of Kevin and Perry, who then immediately propel them skyward with their boners.
Yeah.
Yep.
Of course. So they all get into the club, and then the parents see them going into the club as well, and they're like, "Oh, no one will know that we're there. That's fine. We might as well go in." And
Because
they're
the parents have
greeted
still
by,
been having a nice holiday. They,
Yeah.
despite their sons kind of being a total knobhead, they're having a great time. When they go
Yeah.
out to eat just before, they're like enjoying the Spanish and like speaking in Spanish. It's so clear that like Kevin and Perry had no idea who their parents spoke Spanish.
Yeah.
They don't know who their parents are.
No.
Like, Kevin doesn't
it's
know who
before
their
they know
parents
that their
are.
parents are people. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and not just
Yeah.
things that pay for their stuff.
Yeah. But the parents are let into the club by Phil Mitchell from EastEnders.
I'm a big fan that they're like, how much?
Yeah.
That was a great, really needed that scene. And
Yeah.
it just be like, what?
So I think he says like, "Oh, senior citizens have concessions today. It's fine."
No, they say no concessions for senior
right.
citizens. Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, they go in anyway. And then Eyeball Paul is playing their song, but he's mixed it in with the sex sounds and shows the parents having sex on the screen.
Yep.
Yeah, he's
And-
full on
and-
edited the video as well, which
Yeah.
was also, how could they do that?
Oh yeah, and also the weird shit
Yeah.
that Kevin and Perry were saying when they were like
Messing
trying to
about.
messing about, like talking about the girls because they wanted to fuck them basically. But then the girls just see that and they're like, "I'm famous."
But yeah, so Kevin and Perry are like amazed that their song is being played and then
Yeah.
obviously humiliated. And then they just don't know what to do because obviously their parents are having sex on the screen, but everyone's loving the music.
Yeah,
Yeah,
everyone's having a
everyone's-
great and the parents are just shocked as well because they're like, "What the fuck is going
Yeah,
on?"
their faces are great in that.
Yeah.
That mixture of like horror and shock and kind of awe.
Yeah.
It also, like, it doesn't matter that Eyeball Paul is currently committing a crime.
No.
Well, multiple crimes.
Yeah, because it's very clearly not a consensually taken video.
Yeah, not at all.
And even then, even if it was, that doesn't mean that they have given permission for it to be shared, and that definitely means they haven't given permission for it to be shared on a billboard in a club.
Also, nobody in that club has consented for it to be shown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just show someone porn.
And I mean, I would say everyone in the club will be over 18, but there are clearly
But
15-year-olds.
15-year-olds.
Yeah, no.
There's at least 4 15-year-olds there, yeah.
It doesn't matter if there are, you can't like show people porn and then it not be a crime. Like that's
Yeah.
illegal.
But it's Ibiza.
And
I went to a
there
club
is
once
a
and they
gap.
had women dancing and they just had tape over their boobs. Like little crisscrosses over their nipples.
Yeah, but that's not.
That
a
was
video
weird.
of two normal
especially if it's
people
just like
having-
clear sellotape.
That hurts so much. Taking
Oh.
one big rip. Take the nipples with it.
No,
Parcel tape.
no.
Cool, that nips be gone.
Okay, well, you guys have clearly never had to cover your nipples for anything, and yeah, ouch. Yeah, it was a club I used to go to a lot as a student, but we went on student nights, which is obviously way more budget. And we
Where
went
it's
on
normal.
some friends wanted to go out on a Saturday, and we went to the same club, and it was like full of, you know, people over 25 and really kind of sketchy feeling.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Nothing beats the energy of someone in their mid to late 30s, early 40s in a club. Nothing
Especially if they're
matches.
pretending to be a 15-year-old.
Nothing matches that kind of energy. Yeah, no, it's even nothing matches the energy of someone in their early 40s with a ginger wig.
Thinking that they can pull as well, because they're always the ones that are trying to get it on with all the women. Like,
Yeah.
I've not been in
Yeah.
a club in fucking ages, though, because it's not really my thing now that I am old.
But the energy, there's something
I
special.
went to one
about it.
last year with Jim and some of his friends, and my friends as well, to be fair, for his 30th birthday. At the end of the night, we were like, should we go to the club? And it was like, oh, we shouldn't, we're too old. And then it was like, we got in there and they're like, yep, we're too old for this.
I mean,
Like
Very
drinking
facts,
blue
too.
WKDs and like, oh, God, it was packed as well. Oh, it was disgusting.
to be fair, have I told you guys about the time that I was in a club in Coventry? This was like quite a few years ago.
Is it the time that we went and your parents came with us? Because that was weird.
There
No
was
offense.
that time.
I don't know if they're listening. I mean, I don't
Weird energy.
parents.
Yeah,
That was
but
weird. I didn't know what
I mean-
to say.
The weirder time was when I was there and someone put their hands over my eyes and was like, guess who? And then it turns out my mum and stepdad were there too.
You thought you were going to get kidnapped.
Yeah. I mean, fair play, they were enjoying a night out, but yeah. Like,
Weird energy.
I suppose going as a, married couple is a bit nicer than a single, like, almost 40-year-old man trying to...
Yeah, it's got less creepy vibes because you're going there to actually just have a dance and your motives are all pretty,
Yeah.
not repulsive.
It's
Yeah.
not necessarily always creepy, but it's always weird.
Like a group, I think a group of adults going to a club and having a good time and reliving their youth is absolutely fine. But someone just going out with the intention to pull and like specifically going somewhere where people are generally going to be much younger
Younger.
than them.
Yeah. It's weird. That's bad. That's creepy weird.
I'm
Even
glad
like
you
a
agree.
group of adults reliving their youth, it's still a bit of a weird energy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, but like if they
But
keep
also-
to themselves, then they don't like try and like get in with like a group.
Yeah, but
be nice.
nightclubs are weird energy anyway.
Yeah, I mean, when I was on the train back from London the other day, there was this woman who was just clearly that kind of person, like completely shit-faced on the train, just like sitting next to this guy, and you could so tell that he didn't want to talk to her. And she's like, add me on Facebook, and he was like, I don't have Facebook. Like, yeah, but I'm so glad that she got off halfway through my journey home and wasn't on the train the whole time.
Oh, so she's not from here then.
No, luckily not, no.
She might have.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a
you,
dangerous
you know.
thing to say on like a train, depending on where it is in Kent, because we're so famous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I might recognise your voice.
luckily I was with someone else as well, so it's fine.
That won't stop people like that.
No, they just see it as like, ooh, that would
Twice
be
the
fun to get
opportunity.
talked on. Yeah.
Yeah, a twofer.
I'm just like, please, I want to go home. It is fucking late. It is basically midnight. Please just let me go home.
Please leave me alone.
Yeah. So Eyeball Paul's getting pissed off because of how much everyone loves the song, so he changes it back to his music and everyone starts booing.
Yeah, that was funny.
Yeah.
Like absolute, like totally ruins the
Yeah.
the dance floor. That everyone's against him. That's
So he's being such a dick that he's gonna like shatter the vinyl and throw it, and then Tom the driver just like punches him and makes him fall off the balcony. And Kevin and Perry put their music back on, and everyone loves it.
Everyone's going wild.
They are now DJs.
Yeah. Now 15-year-old DJs.
Yeah. And they wake up the next morning on the beach.
Yeah.
With the girls, and they're like, finally had sex. And then they, like, the next bit I think is still just like weird fantasy, but it's like, yeah, they have become DJs and loads of people are like buying their music and stuff, but also their parents have written a book about like being
it's
sex
called
positive.
mid-relationship sex, yeah.
Yeah. And that's also like a bestseller.
Well, when you get the money from suing Eyeball Paul...
Yeah.
Well, yeah. That was a nice spin on it that shows that, it's their parents, ultimately this horrible thing happens to them and they bounce back from it, like, in their favour.
Yeah.
And it's almost a little bit too good because then it's like, oh, it was worth it. People did them a favour, but it's like, that's still a sex crime.
Yeah.
I
assume they paid for the book because the money they got from Eyeball Paul.
That's canon in my head as well, is like, he's in prison now. But yeah, I think it was cool that it was like, because they are they are having lots of, like, and that's, now I'm like, well, of course his parents would be having sex, but as a teenager, I'd be like, oh, that's gross. Oh, so embarrassing.
Yeah.
But good for them.
Yeah.
The girls are also like lapping up the fame as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they are dating the top DJs,
So this film, out of 10.
And also, does it hold up?
No. I'm going to go out on a limb and say no, it doesn't. And I don't know if it was good then or if I was just an idiot.
Yeah, I think a lot of my enjoyment came from still some of the jokes and that, but being like how I remember that being funny, and yeah, this is probably like one that nostalgia has skewed a bit for me.
Like some of it, some of the one-liners and jokes are quite funny, and like some of the lines did take me by surprise because I did think they were funny, but the theme of the film, like the shock humor in it, the squirting pus everywhere, the turd in the sea, like all of that kind of stuff just doesn't do it for me anymore. And I'm not convinced it did it for me at the time, but it's one of those things where like shock humor was a big thing of humor in the noughties.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember if I liked it or not, or if it was just on and I watched it.
I think I sort of remember not liking it as much as Dan did.
but that's a given at this point.
Yeah.
Any film that I'm like, oh, let's watch this, everyone's like,
Like, I think because I'd watched it
it's
once.
The theme of this podcast.
Yeah, I think because I'd watched it once when I was younger with my I think on Film 4 or ITV or like on TV at some point, and like you wanted to watch it, I was like, yeah, sure. And like I think I did find it funny, but it's one of those ones where it's probably quite funny when you're all chatting and watching it together.
Yeah,
Watching it when you're rapidly approaching or have just overtaken 30 on your own whilst playing The Sims is like it felt pretty tragic. I'm not gonna lie.
We really don't give these films the best chance. They are not designed to
Hey,
be
look, I wasn't sewing this time.
Well, they're not designed to be like paid attention to, these films. I can't imagine watching this film in the cinema. I imagine
I was just thinking that actually.
Yeah, no escape.
It would be awful.
And imagine it's because your parents like Harry Enfield and you go as a family as well.
Yeah, and this film isn't for anyone. I've worked it out. This film isn't for anyone.
No, it's horrible. Just it's got bits of horribleness for everyone.
Yeah, it's not for the parents because the rest of the only bits for the parents is the Harry Enfield Kevin joke. The rest of the film.
Yeah, like I can imagine
teenagers.
it'd be like so horrible as well as a parent to see these like girls getting sexually assaulted and these boys being like, taken advantage of massively by this random bloke who is so cool he's a DJ in Ibiza.
Yeah, I don't get it. This film's weird.
Yeah, I didn't have a great time watching it. I didn't have as bad a time as I thought I would, but
yeah,
I didn't. Like there was enough funny bits, I think, like enough humor to sort of keep me alive.
Yeah.
But like, yeah, I'm quite happy to put this one to bed and not watch it ever again. Oh god, sorry.
Sounds like you need to go to bed as well.
I'm sleepy.
Yeah, this film
Yeah.
doesn't. I don't think it holds up, and I don't think it doesn't hold up because like the world is more socially conscious now. I think it doesn't hold up because I just think we've got too far away from the sketch show that it came from, that it's like it has no basis anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also am sick to the back teeth of Harry Enfield. And like I also haven't watched anything he's done in years, and I'm still sick of him from like TV Burp.
Yeah, he's also
Yeah.
a massive prick.
Yes, he is
Just
also
in- yeah.
a dickhead.
We
Yeah.
we didn't bring up. We mentioned the first instance of like homophobic dialogue, but there's like a worse bit that's very anti-trans. That was
Yeah.
really bad, and that obviously has aged about as well as any jokes about transgender or transsexual people in any film from 2000.
Yeah.
And it's just, I just remember seeing that and thinking, like, how unnecessary was that?
Yeah, because it doesn't add anything to any of the movie.
Like, at
It's
least
just
the gay
there.
guys, it was like Kevin thinks that they're together and Perry has to find out that no, they're gay and they're together. Like, at least
Yeah,
it was
it's
like in
vaguely
there
part
for
of the plot,
it
yeah.
was part of the plot. But that was just it, like them just going.
Everything else was just like, oh, look how weird Ibiza is.
So, I'm gonna give this film 3 jam sandwiches.
I
Out
was
of
going
10.
to give it jam sandwiches.
Yeah, Kathy Burke. I feel like
She's
I
too
wonder
good
if
for
she
this.
I wonder if she regrets this film because she's so amazing in it. But also, Christ, they needed more females working on this.
Yeah.
This needed more women involved in it. And it's like, was she having to constantly battle against Harry Enfield for everything? I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna look any further into like how this was produced and what it was. But like, yeah, Jesus, she is too good for this.
Yeah, it's not worth it.
I think the most the best actor though was the fucking DJ, in
Yeah,
that he
Michael
was
Vaughan.
just so consistently fucking like awful. He was an awful
That-
human being the whole time, and that was very convincing.
And
But
that's
I'm
why
weird
they
because I was
cast
like,
him.
yeah, that's
There's
why they cast him in
the-
the Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah, as the lizard.
He does have lizard energy.
Yeah. Like, he's a great actor as well, in general.
Yeah.
Like, he's been in a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, again, actually, the only really horrible actor was Harry Enfield, and it's his
Yeah.
fucking show. So not jam sandwiches.
Then what am I going to give? Mikey, you can go first.
Okay. 3 good soundtracks out of 10. 'Cause the only good thing about this film is the soundtrack. It introduced that kind of rave music to a new generation.
All
It's a
I
good
wanna do
soundtrack.
is
Listen
do
to the soundtrack. Don't watch the film.
Yeah, don't
Is
watch
that
it.
what
Just
that's
listen
say?
to the soundtrack. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I was going to give this like a 5.
You're allowed to.
yeah.
I mean, we will judge you, but that is kind
Yeah.
of the point.
You're allowed
Yeah,
to be
like-
wrong.
You
It-
know why
it
we
is-
would disagree. We've literally
Yeah.
been talking about it for an hour.
Exactly. Like, it's definitely skewed by nostalgia. There was definitely, let's say, a lot of jokes that I think enjoyed remembering more than anything. But yeah, like, obviously watching this a lot before, it's like, yeah, I must have been watching it a lot for a reason. It's got a lot of shit parts, yeah. But yeah, it has got some good funny bits in it. So I'm going to give this 5 times I've done a really shit Perry impression this episode.
You cheeky girl.
Well, I'm glad we all had fun with that one.
Sorry, yeah, I'm just getting horrible flashbacks to various parts of the film. Like, it's over, but it's not really over for me just yet.
Yeah, but I mean,
War.
for me, there has literally also between watching it and recording this, I think I've watched 4 other movies and been to a gig. So, like, I'm glad.
So
I
the
took
nostalgia
extensive
is
notes.
already...
Yeah,
the
it's
nostalgia's
crept
already, like-
back. Yeah, it's, yeah.
It's not fresh hell.
No,
It's cold hell.
Gone off hell.
you've just checked the milk to make a cup of tea and realised that it's a little bit stale.
We found a bottle of milk at work in a fridge that had been turned off like 3 months ago.
Oh,
Oh,
no.
fun.
Yeah.
Was it
Who-
a live,
Who
like,
turned
that
off the
episode of The
fridge without
Simpsons?
checking the inside? That's so irresponsible. They should have to
I don't
drink
think it
that
was
milk.
deliberate,
Oh.
but yeah, I don't think there was I don't think anyone saw it. And also, we hadn't been in that room for months. We didn't open the bottle.
Yeah, good.
It was rock solid.
Oh, that's not good.
Oh,
The worst I've seen is where it's separated into like floaty stuff and then just brown water.
Oh, it had done that and then gone to the next stage.
the next level
Where-
of off milk.
It was like, it was puffed up. The bottle was puffed up.
Oh yeah.
And I
yeah.
looked at me and my coworker that found it, and we were like, A small part of my brain went, open it.
What you've got there is cream.
Ooh.
That
What
is
we got
not.
there is cottage
That's not
cheese.
how cream.
No, that's
or
that's
cottage
how
cheese.
that's how you make fake pus from spots for a movie.
Yeah. It's on its way to making being cheese, is what it was. But yeah, no, I looked at it, and some part of my brain deep down went, open it, and I really had to stop myself.
I'm starting to understand why you said you were feeling a bit ill today.
This was a while ago.
Oh. You should
Yeah,
have kept it. Add it to the mug.
Fuck no. I still haven't cleaned
You
that
can
mug,
live
by the
next
way.
to the mug.
Oh yeah, how's mold mug? We haven't checked in
Yeah.
ages.
It's still there.
Oh god, Mikey, no. Why?
Yes. I keep forgetting.
Could you take a picture of it and put it in the Discord?
No, it's my private mold mug.
I don't want to see it. I don't want it to
No.
exist.
Neither do I, and that's why it's somewhere out of range.
Yeah. If you can't see it, it doesn't exist.
It's not a problem.
I'm gonna drive down. You're
Specifically
gonna get me
just-
back to Kent. I'm gonna drive down and be like knock on the door and
Give me the
they'll be like,
mug.
"Oh, you here to see Mike?" And I'll just shove past you and like march in there and be like, "That mug!"
Give me the mug.
We've got to keep.
I
the
smash it
mug
on the
first.
ground and then realise that I've just coated your carpet in like this
Yeah, you've just
layer
released
of
it.
like
You've released
spores.
them.
You've released whatever is in there.
Yeah, it must be sentient at this point.
I think it's naturally died by itself.
Hopefully,
I think
It's
it's
done
been
the
long
full
enough.
course of evolution.
I do remember once
Died
as a
out.
particularly rotten teenager, like thinking I could smell mini cheddars in my room,
Hmm.
and then finding like an old tea that had milk in it that
Ugh.
had just gone totally fluffy.
Oh.
Well, before we're all sick, I've been down.
When I was at uni once, I had, you know those like travel mugs where they have like the lid on?
Always dangerous.
I had one of them in my room, and I wasn't sure if it was clean or not, or I'd used it. So I just kind of, I didn't open it to clean. I kind of opened it underwater
That's smart. That's very smart.
because I don't know if it's clean. I think it was. I don't think it was clean, but I hadn't moved it in like ages.
I once opened a lunchbox and I couldn't tell what was inside it anymore.
Oh,
Like
like,
it was
like a
just
liquidy.
It was all brown. Yeah, it
Yeah.
had composted.
Nice.
I've been Helena.
Anyway, I've been Michael.
If you want to, you can find this podcast on social media.
You want more of this?
Yeah.
So, HILTM pod.
Fucking find us on there.
If we're not there, we'll be in the mould mug.
I was going to say, if we're not there, we're in hospital.
Can we rename the Discord to the mould mug?
We can rename one of the chats the
Yeah.
Mold Mug.
Okay, cool. Well, you can find us in the mould mug on Discord. Come and let us know. Have you watched this film recently? Why?
Are you doing a version so you can just put it at the end of every episode?
Yeah, yeah.
Have you
I have
seen
to do less work.
This
Have
film
you watched
recently?
this movie? No, I just cut the bit from the beginning where I say Kevin and Perry go large
Yeah.
and paste it in later. Yeah, we do also have a Patreon where you can
Fucking-
support the show, put a little bit of money towards it. It means the show can keep on going, and soon we'll be in Ibiza playing the podcast to a room full of people. But what are we doing to get there?
Well, you'll never guess what the plan is.
Are you going to work out how to turn tape into white label in 4 hours?
Oh, it's
That'd be
It's
fucking mint.
fucking. If we could, it would make so much money.
I mean,
Yeah.
sort of, but also sort of obsolete.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Trust me, it's fucking not. No, that would be huge if we could do it that quickly and consistently. But no, we're not going to put the money towards that. We are going to put the money towards going to Ibiza. We're going to go to Ibiza.
We're going to
gonna
Ibiza.
fly-
We're just going to have a holiday.
That'd be
Was
nice.
Ibiza bigger back then? Like, was it
Yeah,
more?
yeah,
of a
it
thing?
still is.
Definitely,
But yeah, like Ibiza was a package holiday, and like for Brits abroad, it's still huge.
Yeah,
It's
I
still a
think
massive
still,
like DJ house music destination.
still a place
But-
where people go just to get laid as
But
well.
yeah, all of those islands I've been to all of them on holiday. But when I was like really little,
Yeah.
um,
Too
But, like,
young to be a
it
top
just doesn't-
DJ.
It doesn't feel like it's in pop culture anymore.
uh,
But we're going to go to Ibiza and we're going to bring it back.
don't they do
Yeah,
Made
we-
in Chelsea Ibiza?
Yeah,
don't
but it was
know.
in like I remember it being in a lot of films and
Yeah.
things.
And
Yeah,
that's
well, it's
on-
one of the places that was like cheap. It was one of those places when people was started going on holiday, like cheap Spanish holidays, like Ibiza
Yeah,
became very popular
Hmm.
because it's not super far away, and it's very cheap
Pretty much
island,
everyone there
lots of
speaks
beach,
English.
lots of resorts. Yeah, everyone speaks English.
I
Yeah,
bought
sort of
balls
similar to like
there.
Benidorm, where it's like you can go there and get a full English breakfast.
yeah, that's bizarre to me. Why would you? But yeah, we're gonna go to Ibiza. We're gonna find a DJ, and we are going to become top DJs. Does anyone know how to make music?
You're the closest, I'm afraid.
I guess we're gonna have to watch Pitch Perfect soon,
Oh, we will. We will learn. Okay, so we'll watch Pitch Perfect.
and
Go
then we'll
to
remix
Ibiza.
Kevin and Perry Go Large with the
live
acapella
on
babes
stage.
of Pitch
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah,
Well, we'll get an acapella group together. That's part 3.
yeah.
We'll
Because
get
what
an
goes best
acapella
with
group
house
together.
music? Acapella.
Yeah, we do an acapella version of house music.
All I want to do is do it.
We'll play some Fatboy Slim with an acapella group.
One of my
Do
favorite
some
things is to
live
like look
remixing.
up heavy metal songs and like various like rock songs and pop songs, and find the acapella versions that people have done online on YouTube.
Best version, by the way, is you want to have a good time is a choir version of "I Touch Myself" by the DeVilles. Fucking incredible.
I watched a youth choir doing some Black Sabbath. That was pretty good.
Love it. Love a choir singing a song that's not appropriate for a choir. But like 1,000 middle-aged women,
Yeah. Oh, the
Sorry,
real shrieky
like-
ones.
80 middle-aged women singing, "I don't want anybody, I want you to touch myself." It's great. It's incredible. Highly recommend it to anyone. And if you want a good like house song, play the X-Files song, slightly X-Files theme at like 1.5 speed. Perfect house music.